Hey John,
Yeah.
did you wash the table?
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than it usually is.
Yeah, it's it's dry clean only, right?
Damn, I forgot.
John, where's the table?
So,
I told you this last time.
well, we didn't upload last week, so I washed it again.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
We're going to stay on topic. Welcome back to the Staying on Topic podcast. My name is Ruben.
I'm big.
My name is John.
And in case you couldn't tell by that intro, we had a little bit of a hiccup last week. But I guess you wouldn't know that because we didn't upload it.
Yeah, true.
So I guess we'll give some context. So we had recorded last week's episode, and that episode was kind of thrown together at the last minute.
It's kind of rushed.
Yeah. So to describe that entire day, we had the night before, or maybe 2 nights before. So the Friday night before that recording.
Yeah.
We had decided, hey, why don't we do this like game show idea? I think it was John's son idea, our friend Chris. And we were like, yeah, that's fine, that's cool. You know, we didn't really have anything we were like gunning to talk about. So we were just like, yeah, let's do it. So he came up with like a bunch of questions and stuff. I think it was gonna be like Jeopardy-ish style, but then we were like, let's not do Jeopardy. Let's just do like whoever gets the most points or something like that.
Yeah.
And then literally, I think like within the hour or 2 hours before we were going to record it, circumstances changed.
Yeah.
And
life hit us in the face.
yeah, and we had to completely pivot that episode.
Yeah.
To whatever the episode was going to be.
Yeah.
Clearly, you guys didn't see it because of different circumstances.
Yeah,
So
separate to that first issue.
yeah, so I think that episode was like maybe an hour and a half, pushing
Yeah,
2
it was
hours,
about an hour
maybe.
and a half, yeah.
It was a pretty decently long for what we were talking about, which was kind of a bunch of nonsense.
Avatar, He-Man.
Yeah, Avatar,
just
He-Man.
a bunch of stuff.
I think we had mentioned the newest season of Overwatch. You know, it was kind of just like this cobbled together
A mishmash.
A little bit of news, a little bit of what we've been doing, stuff coming out, things like that.
It was basically just like a catch up of stuff that we've been into, and you know, all that jargon. But anyway, so we record it. We're like, okay, cool, that'll be the episode, and we'll just do the game show thing another time, which we still plan on doing.
Yeah, we're still gonna do it.
It sometime in the future. I don't want to say it's gonna be next week because for all I know, it's not gonna be next week.
Yeah.
We're still working out the kinks and all that.
Yep.
But yeah, we go and we record the episode, and that's it. And then John goes and edits because John does a lot of the editing of our videos. A lot of the editing, does all the editing.
There's all. Yeah.
So he goes, he edits it to his liking, because we trust John to do the edits. And he goes and he uploads it, and everything's fine. And then right before the upload is set to do, we get hit with the copyright strike.
Yeah.
So John, he's like, okay, let me fix it. Let me take whatever we thought was it was going to be, and we'll just change it. So he goes, he changes it, uploads it. Again, we're having the same problem, but it's the same problem, but a different issue. Still the copyright strike, but now it's a different thing.
It wasn't necessarily a copyright strike, but it was just copyright issues. And I was like, I just don't want to have to deal with that in the future. So like changing little things here and there. Okay, you know, like 4 times having to re-upload, re-edit. And it was just by Friday, you know, with work and everything, you know, by Friday it was just like, let's just call it.
Yeah,
It was a nonsense episode. So
yeah, it became this like, I don't want to say hindrance, but it became this like tedious thing of like, it was this episode we had to cobble together kind of like at the last minute. It wasn't the thing we wanted to do. It was kind of just a thing we had to do because we felt like we should get the episode out.
Yeah.
Which we've been pretty good about getting the episodes out when they need to. I think only a few times have we ever been like a day late. You know, I think ever since the new year, and we missed the first week or the second week. I forget what it was.
The irony of that is great.
We've been pretty good, you know, about doing you know the consistent uploads. But yeah, it's just there were so many issues with that we were just like,
Meh.
yeah, we'll just not upload it. It's not a big deal. We didn't really care. So we just didn't upload it. And well, now we're here. And we're back from that cut. Hopefully it was good. I didn't do it. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of like the whole thing. Another little side note. Obviously, we don't have the table anymore.
Yeah.
We're changing the set a little bit. We're trying to get it to what we had envisioned originally. But we're working on it. Hopefully we can get
slowly
but
surely. What's a solely?
Slowly
But surely.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can get
I'm
some
not drinking. You are.
Yeah, we'll get some new chairs and maybe a little table right here. We're almost near where we wanted it.
Almost.
Anyway, that all that ran its course. So anyway, we'll get into. Actually, we won't get into the Elimination Chamber first because I got to call somebody out real quick.
Who are you calling out?
I'm calling out Peacock again. So we had planned to do like a watch party. Three of us plus John's kid.
Yesterday, as the time of this recording.
Yeah, at the time of this recording.
Tried.
Yeah, we tried. I hate the post show for WWE events. I don't think it's super necessary. And if you want to do it, please have it like a separate stream or put it on YouTube. Do anything else. It doesn't need to be a continuous stream on the actual show. It just doesn't.
True.
Because what happens is they make it like a 7-hour little stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the event's over, you have to wait like another hour to watch the replay. So by the time like it was getting to the point where we could watch the replay, it was like midnight.
Yeah. So anybody that couldn't catch it right when it started, they're kind of
they're kind of like
SOL until the next day.
Yeah, and that's not cool. Like
No.
say you're at work, right? You get off at 9.
8. Oh, 9. Yeah.
9 because the thing started at 6. So you get off at 9 and you go home. By the time you get home, 9:15. All right. You pop on the Elimination Chamber. The farthest you can go back is like 2 hours. So at best, you're probably like maybe halfway through like the women's Elimination Chamber match. Maybe the start of the tag match. Like, come on.
They'll let you go back 2 hours?
I think it's like up to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Which again is like there's an easy fix for this problem, and it's just have a start from beginning button. Like that's the one, and I think I said this on the Royal Rumble review. I cannot wait for this Peacock, partnership thing to just end and everything just go to Netflix, because I feel like that's the way that they're going. They have Raw on Netflix. I think they're just gonna want to move everything. In fact, I think right now even like internationally and like Europe and stuff, all the pay-per-views are on Netflix because they don't have Peacock or there's Peacock, but like nobody who gives a shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, they must have it good.
Yeah.
They could probably just start it whenever they want. If it's in the middle of the thing, you just start from the beginning. I bet that
they have
feels,
no problem watching any of it.
Yeah, I bet it feels great.
Yeah.
And here we are. We basically watched it today.
I did watch it today.
Actually, you two watched it today. I couldn't be bothered to wait until today. So I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning.
Well, technically that does still count as today.
Yeah, I guess that does count as today. Yeah, you're right, Vic. So I'm running on like 2.5 hours of sleep, and I shouldn't have to do that. Like I shouldn't have to like do that. Granted, I had sleep issues, so it's like give or take. It's not entirely their fault, but it is their fault because I had.
It led into it.
I had to, because I had FOMO. I was like, well, I can't not because the entire day, and John had this problem too. Well, because we work at the same place, we had a bad habit of like wanting to check our phones.
Yeah.
Like John has this bad habit of he just instantly opens TikTok. So I was like, John, you got to close TikTok. You're gonna get spoiled. And then for the life of me, I had to like stay off Twitter. I turned on my notifications for Twitter, just because like I know I have push notifications for like one like news outlet. So I was like, I can't be bothered. I have to mute it, turn on my notifications so I don't get spoiled. And thank God I didn't get anything spoiled for me. But like I said, I had to stay up until 2:30 in the morning, and by the time it was over, I was just like, great, whatever.
Great.
Because here's the thing, I knew I was gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because I watched it the first time for my enjoyment, like just to experience it, and then I watched it a second time to critique it.
Right.
Because like that's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna get into, right? We're critiquing the show as a whole. So yeah, I was just like, man, I'm tired. So yeah, if I'm a little groggy, or if I start slurring my words, I'm running on like 2.5 hours of sleep. Give or take. I would sleep for like 30 minutes, wake up, sleep for another 15, wake up. It was a mess. But yeah, I guess now we'll just get into the show.
I guess.
Oh,
I couldn't be bothered to stay off my phone. So before I watched the men's today, open YouTube, and the first thing on there on one of the shorts is just the title, and it was just like, well, I guess I better hurry up and watch it, right? Because because once that's the thing, right? It's like once the things happen, it's everywhere, and if you can't stay off your phone, it's gonna be like a whole big thing, and you're just gonna know. Yeah.
because everybody's gonna have opinions on it. Everyone's gonna want to share their reactions and all that.
Yep.
And maybe one day we'll do reactions to like live events and stuff.
After I watched that one, and then I was going through the women's on the side, sidebar YouTube. There was already, the channels that do like compilation reactions.
Oh yeah,
They were already done. It was
Already
just
done,
like,
yeah.
Like
it's ridiculous how
Jesus.
quick they are.
Yeah.
Well, like because a lot of people like they'll do the live stream, like they'll do
Yeah.
the live stream watch-alongs. Like every wrestling YouTube channel that I follow was doing one yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was being a very good boy and not checking my YouTube either because
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
on
that.
there, yeah.
You check YouTube and the first thing that's gonna pop up is the thing that you're interested in.
Right.
So
Oh, this person just won. Oh, my God. No. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it's bad. Like I cannot. I just can't wait for it to not be on Peacock anymore. I
Yeah.
swear.
Fix your stuff,
Yeah,
Peacock.
Peacock, just go away. Just like I don't need you anymore. Like I think, and the thing is, I think that contract is like for another like 2 years. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with it. But like, man, I cannot wait for it just to be over. Anyway, so we'll just start with the entire event. So I skipped at the beginning. I kind of just started at the match. I skipped the entrances and all that.
Yeah.
Because it's entrances. I really don't care. I know who's in the match. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I believe they did the Canadian national anthem. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I know they did the American national anthem.
Yeah.
And Canada booed it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I always think is funny. Like it's one of those things because like
I thought I was watching something. Did they boo the Canadian national anthem also?
no,
Or
I think it was
just
no,
I think
the
it was
national
just
anthem?
I think yeah
No, I know, but
no I think it was just the United States national anthem, and I don't know, I think it's funny.
the way the thing that I was watching was worded weirdly, so I was like, "Who got booed?" Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was funny. Like
No, that's hilarious.
like it's just one of those things where it's like, Canadian pride.
Yeah.
You sing someone else's country's national anthem. It's just a funny thing.
if a
to do.
Canadian performer would have sang their national anthem here in the United States,
Oh, yeah,
they
somebody
totally
would
would have
boo it,
gotten
yeah.
booed. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
I would hope.
anywho,
Yeah.
so the women's elimination chamber match started off the show, and I'm gonna be real. Maybe aside from the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match, honestly, it's probably match of the night, which is funny because it started the night.
Yeah. Started off strong.
Yeah, so the first two participants were Liv Morgan and Naomi.
Yep.
The other four girls were in their pods. And before the match actually starts, I think they ring the bell, and out of nowhere, Jade Cargill makes her return. It was rumored that she was at the Performance Center training to get her return, and that she had stopped going to the Performance Center I think like a week or two ago. So people were theorizing, she's going to be at the Elimination Chamber to basically do what she did. And basically, there's just been this ongoing thing. She got knocked out like 3 months ago, and the whole thing is like, who's the one who attacked her? And they kind of didn't do anything about it for like a couple of months, and then it was more recently where they're like, oh yeah, it's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez because they're the baddies,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, no, we knew it, we like it's totally them. And I was like, I don't think it's them, guys. I think they're going too hard on the fact that it's them for it to be them.
Wow.
And spoilers, it wasn't them.
Yeah. What a great red herring.
To be fair, we don't know if it wasn't them, just that Jade Cargill returns and then attacks Naomi.
Yeah.
So it's implied
That
that Jade Cargill was conscious enough to realize that it was Naomi.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jade Cargill comes. Liv does this little thing where she's scared of oh man, Jade Cargill's here because I hope she doesn't think that it was me. And then she kind of does this pump fake where she looks like she's gonna go and attack Liv and then goes straight for Naomi. And I think the best part about it is Jade Cargill, she beats up Naomi in front of Bianca Belair's pod, and Bianca is just she's selling it too. She's like, oh my God, what's going on? No, stop that. You can't be doing this. She has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And they also do this really great thing where they get the reactions of the other girls that are in the pod being like, whoa, what's going on? This thing is it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh my God. So anyway, Jade goes and starts beating the living poop out of Naomi.
She really is thorough.
Yeah, she lays it in. She she doesn't hold back. And then Naomi tries to escape, and then right as she's about to escape the cage, Jade just she yeets that cage door onto her. And yeah, she gets taken out of the match before she even does anything in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will say this, them doing that made the match feel kind of important. There was it's weirdly this sense of urgency, right? This thing happens and it's a story thing, and it makes you invested in well, now I want answers to the story.
Yeah.
So what are people going to do? They're going to tune into Raw.
Yeah.
For all I know, they've explained it. Again, this is going up on the Wednesday. We won't know until tomorrow.
Yep.
In fact, you'll probably know about it by the time this goes
Yep.
out.
This is a great recap.
Yeah.
To what you just
What
saw.
you're gonna? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Naomi gets taken out. She gets stretchered out, and then Liv's just kind of like, ha ha ha. I do my thing.
Yeah.
And then I guess the first person to exit the pod is Bianca. And she immediately goes to like the cage door to be like, oh my God, Naomi, are you okay? And then Liv sneak attacks her. And then they kind of do like their, the
Back
general,
and forth.
back and forth stuff. It's simple stuff, but it looked very good. I will say this: I think the actual wrestling in this match, and even throughout the rest of the matches, spot on.
It was really good.
Yeah, because there's been some, like when the women get the spotlight of like these big matches, like the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. Sometimes it feels very choreographed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Royal Rumbles, I've seen Elimination Chambers where it feels like, okay, this is the time to hit the spot that we planned to hit. Let's do it now.
Yeah.
I felt like this was very cohesive. It felt
more
like,
natural.
It felt natural. It flowed really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's to their degree, a very well done thing. So let me get my notes here because I wrote notes.
He wrote notes, people.
So Naomi gets taken out. Jade, Bianca and Liv,
Bianca.
they kind of go at it for the next like couple minutes until the next person comes out. And the next person to come out is Roxanne Perez. They are putting a lot of stock in Roxanne Perez.
Yep.
They're going with the whole she's the prodigy thing. She's 23 years old. 2-time NXT champion. She just got the call up. Royal Rumble, she was the Iron Woman. Here she's she gets this really big. Before the rest of the women come in, she gets this little hey, look at me, I'm really good type thing.
Spotlight,
Yeah. Like she does this like thing where I think she like goes into the corner, hits Liv, or like she was gonna hit Liv, and then she like jumps off of her into a Hurricane Rana onto Bianca, and I was like, dude, that looks sick as heck.
It was really good.
And then she goes into like this other combination with Bianca like on the outside in between pods, where they're kind of like going at it, and then it turns into like a Russian leg sweep into the cage, and I was like, that looks really cool. Like to a certain point of view, it's like, oh, that's really like easy.
Yeah.
But like when it's all done, because it was like reversals after reversals, and like she finally hits it. I was like, yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, so I think they're right in choosing Roxanne to be like the next big thing. They really like kind of like showing off the hey, look how young our talent is and how good they are. And that was the when Rhea was like first coming in, that was like her big thing. It's like, oh, look at Rhea, she's a monster, and she's like 25, man, like headlining WrestleManias and all that, and to her degree, she's also very very good. Whether you like her or not, it's a different story. So I know some people who just don't, or not necessarily that they don't like Rhea, but they're kind of over her because that happens sometimes. Somebody gets pushed to the moon, and they stay getting pushed to the moon, and people just start to lose interest. I don't think that's happening for Rhea. I think Rhea's kind of like doing her own thing. She's still very popular. She sells merch like crazy. Everybody loves her. This went on a Rhea tangent.
Yeah.
But anyway,
a little bit.
yeah. But I like Rhea. I think she's cool. So anyway, next one to come out is Bailey, and she immediately, I think Roxanne goes into her pod and they start beefing.
Yeah.
They just had an NXT takeover. It's not called takeover, but they had an NXT premium live event thing. It was like a fatal 4-way. I didn't watch it. I don't really. I like passively watch NXT. Like I know what's going on, but I don't watch it weekly, and I don't really watch their events when they do them. Not because I think it's boring. It's just I got other things to do. Like I like wrestling, but I do have other hobbies.
Yes.
So anyway, they continue their little feud from that event. I don't know where it's going to lead, if it's going to lead anywhere, because I don't think they'll have like a match at Mania. Because like even this Jade, Bianca, Naomi stuff, I don't know if it's going to lead to a match at Mania. I really don't. Maybe like the SmackDown or Raw before Mania, because I just don't see it taking up a slot. Even though it's 2 nights, I just don't think it's going to take up like a match slot, because I think the rosters are so stacked that you might want to give it to somebody else. Not that the story's not important or anything, but I think there's bigger stories, that are being told. Stories that technically haven't been told yet. Like Roman Reigns was nowhere to be seen on this pay-per-view. He hasn't been seen for a while.
Yeah.
He's not missing Mania. Like he's gonna be there in some capacity. But they got 6 weeks to tell stories. That's when Mania is. So, to each their own. Yeah. Anyway, there's a great little back and forth between Bailey and Roxanne, and then it all ends up leading to. Oh, I actually skipped something. Alexa Bliss enters.
Yeah.
To like a massive like roar. Everybody loves Alexa Bliss. I'm glad she's back. I said it at the Royal Rumble review. Somebody who's been missed. They were gone. They started living life. They had a kid. All that. Life caught up with them. But now they're back, and I think they're looking really good. She's been out of the ring for like 2-ish years. She doesn't look like she's missed a beat. But anyway, going back to what I was gonna say, Bailey and Roxanne, they do like a little combination thing, only for Liv Morgan to get the pin.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. One of the things I'll get to it once we get to like the final little bit. The final two, there was one I was okay with, and one I was hoping didn't happen. Luckily, they did the thing I wanted.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
Alexa, that's all I saw up to when Alexa entered, and so I didn't get to finish it all. So
So anyway, there's another spot where, and I think at this point I'll just like tell it just from what I remember. But there's this like whip spot
Oh my
that
god.
Bianca hits a whip, not a whip. She has her long ponytail,
How long?
and she smacks Liv Morgan with it. It's a very loud whip. You can hear it.
oh really?
Like, and they emphasize it a ton.
You could
Like,
see it.
yeah, you can
Oh.
see the welts. She's like bleeding at one point.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But that's like the thing she's always known for. Like this is the first time she's ever used it. It definitely won't be the last time. But yeah, it sounded like it hurt, and I would definitely not want to take it. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, I guess I'll just we'll get to anyway. Eliminations happen. People get eliminated. They get down to the final two, and the final two is Liv Morgan and Bianca Belair. Now,
That's who you wanted in the final two?
I mean, they're the final two. They just so.
Well, I know you said you had to like kind of your
Yeah,
thought of
so-
who you wanted there. So
The final two were Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. One of them, I think I think what ended up happening was probably the right move. I don't know if I would do it yet. And that's Bianca wins. Bianca wins, spoilers, Bianca wins. You probably already know that. But Bianca Belair wins. I was really afraid they're going to give Liv the win. And we were going to do this Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley thing again.
yeah,
Like I did not want that to happen. I really
Yeah.
like I shouldn't say I'm not a big Liv Morgan fan. It's the thing I was
I
talking about
don't
earlier.
like Liv Morgan.
It's-
so I'm kind of glad.
Well, it's
that
the thing I was talking about earlier. It's like somebody gets pushed, and
To the moon.
yeah, not to the moon, but like I wouldn't even say she got pushed to the moon, but she gets pushed, and I don't necessarily vibe with her character a
Right.
whole
Yeah.
lot. And obviously they put the title on her, and the title's on her until Rhea gets back, and then Rhea, they have their rematch. Rhea loses, but that's because Dominic turns on Rhea.
Yeah.
And then they kind of keep telling the story of, hey, me and Liv have a problem. And then the Raw and Netflix premiere happens, and I think that's when she wins it back.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. We are now done with this story. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We can move on, and we can do other things. So when I got to this final two, I was like, please, Lord, don't let it be Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't want this again. I really don't. I don't care how popular she is because people really like her. I don't want it. I don't. I don't want to see this again. Let's move on from that.
So now it's good they're giving Bianca a push. So
Yes, but like I also don't think, not necessarily that I don't want this, but I don't. They have 6 weeks,
Yeah.
and they need to make the most of the 6 weeks because this match on paper is money. Like Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair, that could be a big marquee thing. Both of them were one of they were both the cover athletes for WWE 2K24. They care a lot about these two women. Bianca, I think at one point, I don't know if she still has the reign. I think it's Rhea's now. But at one point, she was like the longest reigning women's champion. They put a lot of stock into Bianca Belair. I was a
Yeah.
Bianca Belair fan. But then, again, pushed to the moon. But granted, they did take the title off of her, I think, at the right time before she got like holding it for too long.
yeah.
But yeah, they have 6 weeks to tell this story. But then they also have this thing where once she finally wins and she gets to the entrance ramp, Rhea comes out. And then Io Sky also comes out because she, again, the time that this is recording, the match would have already happened.
Yeah.
So maybe the story is further, but she's having a title match on Raw. So is she going to be in the mix? Because it's one of those things where it's like Io Sky is too good not to be on WrestleMania. Like, do you put her? Is it? Do you make it a triple threat? Do you only make it just Rhea and Bianca? Because like there's also the thing of like, well, who do you have lose in that situation?
Yeah,
because you want both of them to look strong.
Well, so who do you have? So Rhea wins on Raw, and then they go to a triple threat in WrestleMania.
That's the thing. I don't know. And that's the beautiful thing about it.
I forgot.
Is I don't know.
Yeah,
like, I think before this, and I think it was something that Triple H said on the post show. The one thing about the post show that I did watch, or I saw on Twitter was, hey man, everyone was talking a lot of ish about this build to WrestleMania. It's looking pretty good right now, and I was like, yeah. I was like, it was looking really bad. Like yeah, I wasn't that excited, but now, there's things moving.
Yeah,
things are happening. There were things happening. Like it felt like they were waiting for like the right time to do it.
Yeah.
Because technically the road to WrestleMania starts at the Royal Rumble, but it felt like we were just kind of like coasting by until this, and now that this is over, now we can actually start doing the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
Because even though the Mania card's 2 nights, you only have so many matches, so not everyone's going to be on the card. It's not like back in when Vince was taking the reign. It was.
I haven't watched WrestleMania in a long time. Is it like? Do they have like a main match on the first night and the second night, or do just matches up leading up to like the really big main event on the second night?
So there's a main event for night 1, and there's a main event for night 2.
Okay, cool.
Now you can make the argument which one's the actual main event.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, that's one.
Because like it's like if you're the main event in night 1, are you really the main event?
Oh, because now,
because you're not on the final.
I forget.
Right.
Like, there's 2 belts, right?
Yep.
There's going to be 2
part of the build
matches,
up.
So
because like one of the things that's been going on. I'll go on this tangent real quick. The whole thing with CM Punk, right? CM Punk wants the main event of WrestleMania. That's like his goal. That's his thing. Since he's come back, he wants to do that.
Yeah.
If he main events night 1, is he main eventing WrestleMania? Does he care about having that night 2 spot? I don't know. I'm not CM Punk, clearly.
Yeah.
So, only he knows.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he's at the point where I think back then maybe he did care. Because at that time he was killing it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not killing it now. He's far from it. I think he's doing maybe career best work. But yeah, would he care? That's for him to decide. But yeah, I have no idea what they're gonna do with this. I will say this: I'm more interested in this than I am for the WWE Women's Championship, which I guess we'll just get into the next match that happened, which was Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Oh my God, I forgot the name.
Yes.
Oh, but before I get into that, star ratings, I gave the women's Elimination Chamber match 4.25.
Out of
5. I thought, like I said, this was match of the night. I really thought from start to finish, it wasn't perfect. Like I don't think matches like this are meant to be. It's like the Royal Rumble, right? It's like the Royal Rumble for me will never be 5 stars, like because there's so many moving pieces and there's so many storylines that are going on that I don't think there's enough time in that to like disperse it. Yeah. And I think it's the same thing with this Elimination Chamber. There's like 6 people in there, and you only have so many times to tell stories, and obviously everyone's stories is going to be different, right? So you have, technically you have this Bianca Rhea story that has now connected, but now Bianca also has to deal with this Naomi, cardio stuff, and then you have the stuff with Bayley and Roxanne. They're like, there's moving pieces, but I forgot where I was going with it.
No, you're explaining your rating and why you decided to give it that rating.
I thought, spoiler alert, I thought it was better than the men's.
From what I saw,
not a whole lot better, but like
from what I saw, I from the up to what I probably didn't even see like half a match, I guess. But I can't rate the ending of it, so I give it 3 3/4 stars, almost 4.
That's fair.
I think just if I had seen the rest of it, then I could judge it a little better. But
I can give it a comfortable 4.
Yeah, 4 is good. Like
4's good.
4. That's
4's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the other match. If there's one match you can cut, It's probably this one. Not to say it's not entertaining. On my second watch through, when I was actually critiquing it, I liked it the second time. I thought it was a lot better the second time.
I only watched this match in clips. I didn't like it at all. I was not.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a 5-star banger. I'm not gonna like. I'll give my rating right off. I gave it 3.5. I was sports entertained, but that's because it was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be this match in Trish's hometown.
Yeah.
In front of I think it was like 30-something thousand people that were there.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. It's for Trish to have a match in front of a ton of fans, because it didn't really further anyone's stories. Because like Tiffany Stratton, her whole thing is with Charlotte, and Charlotte wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So it kind of just felt like this thing to like, hey, let's have this match, let's do it.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think the match is bad. Far from it. I think there's some really cool spots, but it's also the match I had the least to talk about because like I just didn't think there was like literally the first thing I wrote for the match. I was like, matching ring gear, that's cool. Here's like, I'm a sucker for matching ring gear. I like legit when tag teams have matching ring gear. I think it looks so slick because there's some where they're like Franken teams where there's just two people and they're just in their like regular ring gear. I was like, oh, dude, that's lame.
Yeah.
Like it's a matching ring gear.
Like at least in this
Look
match,
like a team.
I could tell who was on whose team. I'm like,
Yeah. So like when Tiffany and Trish came out with like matching ring gear, I was like, oh, that's fun. And then even Nia and Candice, I was like, oh, they have matching ring gear. That's cool. It's such a little thing. It's like that. It's whatever. But the next thing I wrote was Trish can still go. Like she's still really good. For I don't know how old she is. I think she's like in her 40s now.
Yeah.
Maybe
she's gotta be in
late
her
30s, early 40s.
Mhm.
But I think she still moves like she was when she was in her prime.
yeah.
Like I think she's still doing pretty good stuff.
Who was it that picked up Nia?
I think that was Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Yeah, I think
I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
I think she does like a spine buster or something.
yeah. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Again, I didn't have a whole lot to write because the match is also not super long either. It's like maybe 10 minutes at most.
It was very long.
To me, it seemed like it could have been on. It's a match that could have been on Raw.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they could have had something else there. Something along the lines that.
Again, I think it's one of those things where like they do it because it's in the big crowd.
It
well, of
felt
course,
like a
but-
filler.
Yeah. Again, if you had to skip a match, it's probably the one you could skip.
Yeah.
But there were some fun spots. Like I wrote down like there's this thing where Nia does like this bear hug spot. She just kind of like ragdolls
Yeah.
Trish, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fun.
That's
Like,
great.
It just looks funny. Like I giggled a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a silly little match.
My only like actual like critique about the match.
Maybe I shouldn't say
Um,
that.
My only like actual critique about the match was it ends kind of abruptly. Like I feel like it just doesn't end super cleanly. Because like Trish hits like I think it's her finisher off the top rope.
Oh yeah.
And then she goes to like tag Tiffany. And then Tiffany like throws out Candice. But then she also like kicks Trish, being like, hey, get off the apron.
Yeah. Uh huh.
And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then she goes and she hits her prettiest moonsault. That's what it's called. And then it's 1, 2, 3 for the win. And I'm just like,
Okay.
oh yeah, okay. Like
Okay.
it's again, it's whatever. It's this thing that just kind of happens.
Kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wrote. I was like, it's a very okay tag match. Like it doesn't excite me. It doesn't do anything that's blowing me away.
Pretty
but it's
standard.
not bad.
It's standard.
Yeah, it's a standard match. That's why, like I said, I gave it 3.5 because like for what it was, I was sports entertained. But it's not blowing me away.
Yeah.
I think for like this like legacy match for Trish, because I don't know how many more matches she has in her. For all I know, she has like 1,000 more matches, or whatever. Because I think it was like a couple of years ago she did like a huge like stint of matches with Becky Lynch, and I thought that was some of her best work too. Granted, this is one match. For all I know,
Yeah.
maybe she doesn't have it. I think she does.
Yeah.
I get from I pieced together pretty much.
Sure.
Oh, like 2.5.
2.5.
Two and
I'll give it a good even 3.
Yeah.
It's middle of the road. Wasn't too impressed, but also wasn't too disappointed. I was like, yeah. Some good stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Again, that's all I really have anything to say.
Yeah.
Again, it was the shortest match. But anyway, we'll move on.
What'd you think of the next one?
I don't know if it's better than the women's elimination. I'm still like,
Yeah.
because I think on my first time watching it, I was like, whoa, this is good. And then on my second watch, it was like, I could probably change a little bit of
Yeah.
stuff. But I think overall, the unsanctioned match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn was very good. I think for what the story they were telling, it was sufficient.
Mm.
But I also think they could have done more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, for sure.
because
for
like
sure.
here's the thing: the whole point of this match, right? It's unsanctioned. You know, WWE's not supposed to get involved, like at all. But then they kind of start
Yeah.
trying to stop the match at the end, and I'm like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's they do this. The one thing that I'm glad that they did, because I just thought it kind of added to it a little bit, and it's such like a nothing thing. But they like dim the lights, so it's not like fully lit, but you can still see them, and I'm like, that's cool, because again, it's unsanctioned. WWE, you know, they have no responsibility on what goes on in the match. They even covered up the turnbuckles with like to hide the WWE logo, because again, they have no involvement. It's not supposed to be like this big thing. And I was like, that's cool. You know,
Yeah.
it's a thing to add to
Yeah.
the experience of what's going on. Yeah. But anyway, they start fighting. I do think the beginning of the match is a little slow.
Yeah.
I think for a match like this, where it's supposed to be like this blood feud thing,
It should be high energy.
yeah,
from the
you need
beginning.
to like make it hot like right off the gate. And I think they kind of like lean too much into wrestling instead of like a fight.
Yeah.
Which I think this is what this kind of should be. It's just this fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the things I wrote, I think this is after they pulled out a bunch of chairs. Sami Zayn goes underneath the ring and pulls out a hockey stick,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Cause Canada,
Of course.
only in Canada."
Yeah.
Well,
When he
well,
did that in the crowd went wild, I was like, oh yeah.
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 yeah, man, I love me a hockey stick. It's used as a weapon. Speaking of things that I love, man, they love tables.
They love
They had a ton of tables in that match. I'll give you that.
I am the table.
Yeah, I am. Yep, dude, I am the table. Yeah, they God, I think there was like 5 tables that they went through.
They used a lot of
Yeah.
tables.
Yeah.
Granted, I love tables. I love people going through tables. I think table spots are cool.
Not gonna say no to a table fight.
Yeah, and clearly that's the thing that the crowds always ask for. It's like, we want tables, and then when they get the tables, everyone cheers because tables are cool. Anyway,
Sammy got thrown through a table.
yeah, we'll
In
get
that
to that.
match.
I wrote that
Yeah,
down because I was like,
yeah.
oh man, this.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, Kevin Owens like bites Sami Zayn at one point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
forgot about that.
and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of cringed a little bit from like, oh, that's kind of weird, but like it's like, oh, okay, we're going that like deep.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's
Going
fun.
Pharaoh.
Yeah. And then I just after that I wrote more tables and stacking. now we're stacking more tables.
They did a lot of that.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. Yeah, they stacked the tables. I was like, oh, well, I wonder who's going through that. And again, we'll get to that when we get to it. But then something happened, and it's something that I also critiqued about in the Royal Rumble review. I forget which match it was. It was Cody and Kevin.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, Kevin Owens had the same problem twice.
Same problem.
I don't think we need to go out into the.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to go out into the audience. I really don't. I don't think it adds anything.
There's no point.
Yeah. Granted, they did 2 table spots out there where Kevin was put through 2 tables. So I guess there was that, but like I don't think that it adds to anything because like
it didn't
I
need
think,
to happen out there.
Yeah, I think it's cool for the fans that are there.
Yeah.
You know, you get to see the wrestlers fight in front of you. But for the people who are just watching it kind of just feels like this thing. It's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Well, not even just that. I mean, if they're not on, it's cool for the fans that are in that general vicinity. The fans on the other side of the stadium. I mean, yeah, you can watch, the camera
Yeah,
spot, but it's like
Yeah.
you're not going to get the same experience, as being out. Just do everything in the ring, around the ring ish, up the stage if you want.
Yeah.
Go up the stage and on the front of on the entranceway or something.
Yeah,
okay,
like
cool.
on the walkway.
You don't have to
Yeah.
do it in the middle of people. That's
Yeah, that was like the one thing I had a problem with, and I think that's why I didn't give it as high as I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Because I think on my original watch through, granted, I didn't give it like a huge chunk worse than I thought it was going to be. I think I gave it 4.5, and then on my second rewatch, I was like, that's when I had my problems with it.
Yeah.
So and then I bumped it down. But yeah. Anyway, there was I forgot who brings it in. I think it's Sammy, but Sami Zayn gets a trash can and then like hits Kevin Owens with it, and then Pat McAfee. And some people have a problem with Pat McAfee's commentary. I sometimes am not the biggest fan of it, but he has this call and he goes, he just hit Kevin Owens with Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he?
And I wrote that down because I was just like,
Yeah.
Pat, sometimes he's
says
got
some
it.
bangers.
Yeah, sometimes he just got it. And I was like, okay, that's funny.
That's great.
Again, I don't hate Pat like everybody else, like some people do. I think he's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, that's when Kevin Owens gets put to the table twice on the outside. Okay, so now we can talk about the other table spot where Sammy I think he is going for like a power bomb on the inside of the ring, and then Kevin reverses it and then pushes Sammy onto the outside, goes through the tables, and they're like parallel with him.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was thinking of, granted, he went through him perfectly, but I was like, man, if you were off,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you're just hitting the floor.
Yeah.
That's gonna hurt. Like I actually winced when he went through it because I was just like
from the top of it, if he doesn't hit
Yeah.
it perfectly,
yeah, if he
slides off.
if he
or-
is not perfect in the landing of that, he's hurting himself.
When I saw that, I'm like, wow, that's some great aim.
yeah.
Yeah, again, credit to Sammy, consummate professional. He knew how to
He knows
knew-
how to go through
yeah,
tables.
he knew how to go through a table, and he knew how straight he needed to be. And again, I winced at it because I was like, oh god, Kevin.
Yeah, even I mean, it's gonna break your fall, but it's still gonna hurt when you hit that
yeah.
ground.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that's good.
Pain is gonna
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So after that happens, they end up back in the ring, and then Kevin Owens hits a fisherman buster onto a chair.
Yeah.
And that looked brutal too.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like this is where it starts picking up.
That hurt
Like
me
after
watching
after the slow intro,
Yeah.
and once they leave the crowd, this is when it starts picking up, and I'm like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
Now it feels like a fight. Now
A
it feels like these
slobber
guys,
knocker,
these
yeah.
guys hate each other now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard that in a long
Yeah,
time. That's funny.
JR, good old JR over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Sammy gets put through that chair, and then there's a bunch of different reversals, and then Kevin gets put through a chair.
Yeah.
And then Sammy goes for a haluva kick onto Kevin Owens, and then he hits a ref, and that ref just like dies. He just like ends up on the floor. Did I skip something? No, I didn't. Okay. So anyway, I forget what happens after that. But anyway, they bring in Charles Robinson, and Charles Robinson runs into the ring.
Oh,
That's right, yeah.
didn't Sammy get the chair with the barbed wire?
That's
on it?
after that.
That's after that. Yeah.
So anyway, I forget what happens, but somehow Sammy ends up on the getting pinned on, and Charles Robinson runs in and does the count, and he hits the 2.
Yeah.
And then Owens just kills him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Sammy pushes off. Kevin gets mad and then starts hitting the ref.
But like the only thing I could think of, because he like runs into the ring, and the only thing I could think of, and I showed you guys the clip, but it's Charles Robinson doing the long run at WrestleMania 24. That's the only thing I was thinking of when he was running into the ring. I was like, oh man, why did they get Charles? They got Charles running into the ring all the time, dude. That's crazy. And then he dies.
Yeah.
He just gets killed.
Clothesline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so now they bring out a third ref, and then they bring out more tables.
We love tables here.
Yeah. So they set up the table, and then they get into the corner. Kevin Owens hits another fisherman buster onto the table, 2 count. You know, standard 2 count going through a table.
I cannot win.
Yeah. So anyway, they go and then they do this like thing where Kevin goes into the corner and he's like shouting at Sammy, and then I think he ends up trying to go for like a clothesline onto Sammy. So he runs into the other corner, but before Kevin can run back to that corner, Sammy hits him with a haluva kick.
Yeah.
And I love spots like that. Like where it's like you think something's gonna happen,
But it's unexpected.
It's the
and
complete. It's the complete 180. And I was like, dude, that's cool. Like, simple spot. It's something like groundbreaking. It's stuff that they've done before. I was just like, that's cool.
But it's also something that didn't look planned. It just looked like it came out of the blue.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Those
so,
are always
yeah,
fun.
so anyway,
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that, then we get to the barbed wire chair.
Yeah.
And so Sammy,
I've never seen anybody barbed wire a chair before.
really? I think I've seen
Not
it.
that I can remember.
I think I've seen it one other time, but I was like,
I've seen it a few times. But anyway, so Sammy sets up the barbed wire chair, and then as that's going on, he does like a kind of like a drop toe hold.
Yeah.
And Kevin hits his face on the barbed wire or his cheek. And I was like, man, I hope you stop yourself, because if you didn't, man, if you didn't like cover your eye or anything, dude,
Yeah,
you could hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm sure they make it as safe as possible.
Yeah.
With the barbed wire, I'm sure it still hurts, but like, I'm sure they do things.
Yeah.
I actually think Maven did a video about stuff like this recently.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
it was
I watched that one.
shout out to Maven.
that was a good video, actually. Yeah.
I love Maven.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he does that, and then Sammy sets up the barbed wire chair onto 2 other chairs, and he
Yeah.
does a Blue Thunder bomb onto the chair, and there's no give. It
Yeah.
just stays flat.
yeah,
Because what should have happened was the 2 chairs that were set up should have given in,
Yeah.
but I think
it goes straight to the ground.
but because there was the other chair, it kind of just stays flat.
Yeah.
So Kevin just like lies there for a second, and then he like sells that. It's like ah, and I was like, dude, that's kind of funny. Yeah. So anyway, then Kevin Owens hits a pump up power bomb, I think on the outside, and that's when Sammy starts holding his neck,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like the running thing. It's like, oh, Kevin Owens is hurting his neck. Sami Zayn shouldn't be in this match because of his neck. And then this is kind of like where they really start reiterating that point. Commentary starts pointing it out. It's like, oh man, he's grabbing his neck. You know, what's that gonna do? You know, Kevin, we got to stop this match. Yeah. So then after that, after they do the pump up power bomb, Kevin then puts a chair around Sami Zayn's neck and then proceeds to throw him into 2 of the ring posts.
Right. Like,
And I was like, all right, so we're just trying to kill Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
Again,
where's-
unsanctioned match. We
Yeah.
should be trying to kill people.
Yes.
You know, that's the whole point. We kill people in unsanctioned
He
matches.
kill people.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then after that, this is kind of like the ending of the match. This is I think Kevin ends up hitting 2 power bombs onto the apron,
Yeah.
which the apron's the hardest part of the mat.
I was gonna say it really is.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
because it's the edge of everything.
Yeah.
You know, that's usually where they have like the metal part, or like for depending on the ring, that's like the edge of the wood.
Yeah.
So you're just hitting straight on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hits it twice, and like I think on the before the second time, that's when everyone's like, "Hey, stop! He's hurt. You can't do it." And again, I had a problem with that. Again, it's an unsanctioned match. People shouldn't be coming out trying to stop it because technically it's none of their business.
Yeah.
Like again, they knew what they were getting into. We shouldn't have people coming out stopping it. I get why you would do that because humanity and just being a good person, but at the same time, this is what they both asked for.
Yeah.
You kind of just have to let them do it. But yeah, anyway, he hits another power bomb onto the apron, throws him into the ring, and it's a 1, 2, 3. That was it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was going to end with the package pile driver. I thought that was just going to be like the thing. It was going to be like onto like maybe the barbed wire chair or something.
Yeah.
That's how I thought it was going to end. So when it didn't end like that, I was like, oh, okay. Like I'm not disappointed or anything.
No.
But I was just like, I don't know. It seems kind of like a
It's kind of like the last match.
yeah, kind of just like this abrupt ending. And I was like, but again, I wasn't mad at it. I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Anywho, after that, then we get Kevin Owens is leaving. Security's trying to push him out to go to the back. He then comes back and then starts taking apart the
padding
on the floor
Yeah.
to expose the concrete because concrete hurts if you
Yeah.
land on it wrong.
Yeah.
Like who would have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you know that 1-inch padding.
Yeah.
saves-
but anyway,
saves
before
you
he
so
can
much.
do that,
I don't know. It looked kind of thick.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of thick.
yeah, it's a little thick. Anyway, before he could do that, Randy Orton makes his return.
yeah.
Yeah, because he's been out because Kevin Owens injured him. So he comes in. They start fighting. I think he ends up hitting an RKO on
Yeah.
on Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he grabs a chair and he makes this motion where he's gonna like hit Kevin Owens with it. But then he's like, nah man, I'm not gonna do that. I need to hurt him like he hurt me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do the punt. Now, if you were watching wrestling circa 2007 to like 2009, the punt was a big deal.
Yeah.
At that point, he was like the legend killer. This is the thing he was using to end careers.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was wanting to do it is really cool. And I popped really hard. Because I was just like, oh, is he going to do it?
Oh.
Is he going to do the punt?
Oh.
Punt? And then he throws the thing, and then he goes into the corner, and he does like the
The-
little lunge thing. And I'm like, oh, dude, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to hit it. And then the nerve of the people around the ring
crowd of people.
trying to stop him from doing his revenge. I got so mad. I'm getting heated just talking about it. Because I was like, because clearly this seems like the plan that they're going with for WrestleMania for Randy Orton.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. If there's a stipulation, I don't know. Maybe they'll throw in Sami Zayn if he's good because, this is one of those points where it's like, this match was so grueling. We have 6 weeks till Mania. Is Sami Zayn not going to be on the card?
Yeah.
I mean, he's Sami Zayn. It feels like he should be on the card. But, like, do you want to sell this? It's, again, double-edged sword. It's like, what do you do? What do you don't?
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like they're at least going to do Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, which I'm fine with.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm fine with you. That's going to be a good matchup.
It was funny when Randy Orton made his return after like a year and a half from his, I think it was his neck or his spine or something, from his injury. I didn't realize how much I missed Randy Orton until he came back, because it's one of those things, right? You don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Yeah.
So when he was gone, I was like, man, I wish Randy were here. I think Randy would do some good stuff right now. Like, so when they announced that he was coming back, I was like, all right, let's see what happens. And dude came back jacked.
Oh my god.
He was like, oh my god, I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing here, where it's like he's been gone for months. Granted, it's not as long as his previous, tenure away, but I was like, it's just nice to see you back, man.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see you again. I grew up with Randy Orton. I grew up hating Randy Orton, and now I love Randy Orton. The dichotomy of life.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? It's the thing I was supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing that they train you as a young fan to do. You hate Randy Orton because
Yeah.
he's the bad guy, and now you love him because he's been there a while, and you can appreciate Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Is he the best? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. I can think of other wrestlers that I'd probably put above him.
But he's pretty good.
But yeah, but he's entertaining.
Yeah.
He knows how to do his things. So yeah. Anyway, they stop him from doing the punt, and then he just starts RKOing everybody.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is he RKOs like 3 different guys, and then when he gets to the 4th, he's like, "Hey man, I don't want to do it." And he tries to go to shake his hand, and the dude goes to reach for it, and he
He does
RKOs
it
him.
again.
And I was just like, "Oh my god, dude, this is awesome! I missed Randy Orton, dude.
Yeah. I miss spots like that.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That being said, though, like even though I'm glad he's back, there are times like when he does do the RKOs and stuff. I'm like, all right, maybe we shouldn't be doing 4 in a row.
yeah.
I don't want you to get re-injured. So, but I was just like, at the time I was watching, I was like, go ahead,
Yeah.
just do it, But anyway, that was like the whole match as a whole. So like I said, I think I gave it 4.5, and then I bumped it down to 4 because I was like, I did enjoy the match, but in the case when I'll get to for the final match, it kind of it started off kind of slow.
Yeah.
But when it picks up, it picks up.
Yeah.
But I don't think because when it picks up, it gets really good. I can't in good conscience give it a better score than the women's match that I thought was just great the entire time.
Throughout the whole thing, yeah.
It starts off hot, it ends out, hot, whereas like again, the Kevin Owens match is like it starts off kind of and then it gets gradually better. So I get, at the end of the day, I gave it 4, just a solid 4, and I was like, that's good.
I'm in the same boat as you. I'll give it a 3.5
3.5.
because the same reasoning.
Same
right?
reasons, yeah.
It was an unsanctioned match, so I was like hoping for the ending and the beginning. I wanted it to be like, oh, okay, cool. You've seen matches like this before, and it's just like, it's kind of like, I don't want to just watch regular wrestling moves, and then the crowd stuff. I don't like crowd stuff too. So yeah, I give it a 3.5. If they had never done that, the crowd stuff, and if they had just kind of like been a little more, hey, fighty in the beginning, I probably would have been giving it a 4. So 3.5.
Yeah, same 3.5.
All right.
3.5 feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, not a bad match. Just, I think it could have been way better than it was. But I'm not saying it was bad.
Yeah.
It's just they could have done more.
Yeah.
Is what I'll say. They could have done more, and I'm okay with that. Anyway, we get to the final match.
Main match?
The main event. Well, I guess it's technically not the main event. It's the main event match,
yeah,
but it's not the main
match.
event.
Yeah.
You can argue the main event is the final segment of the show.
Yeah.
So this is the men's elimination chamber match. And I'm just gonna be real honest. I didn't have much to write about in the beginning, because not that anything doesn't happen in the beginning. It's just the match doesn't pick up until Drew gets eliminated.
Yeah.
Like most of my notes, I was like, okay, Drew and Rollins start, and then they do these like 2 little spots where both Drew and Rollins like beat up each other like at different points in front of Punk's pod.
Yeah.
And I just
My favorite part of that was when he was banging his head against,
and he goes harder.
and
Harder.
he's all harder.
Yeah, it made me giggle. I literally
great. It was
wrote
funny.
down made me giggle because I was
Yeah.
like, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
And I was like, the way he was hitting him, I was like, man, they showed the shot from behind.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, is the glass gonna break? Like, man, that was kind of
gave me a good chuckle. It was great.
it was good.
It
Yeah.
was great.
But anyway, I was like, yeah, I mean, that to me was like the most like noteworthy thing that happened.
Yeah.
Other than that, because like other than that, they're just hitting moves. They're hitting like
It's
stuff.
normal
Yeah.
wrestling stuff.
Yeah, it's
Normal
just
wrestling.
normal. They're waiting for other people to get into the ring.
Yeah.
Speaking of people entering the ring, I literally, I just wrote down 2 people's entrances, like or entering into the match. Because I was like, they didn't really do much.
So
Until,
they kind of
yeah,
just
like
Was it a
yeah, 'cause-
priest?
yeah, I put Damian
No,
Priest
yeah.
enters to a reaction.
Yeah.
He didn't get booed. He didn't get cheered. He just kind of entered, and that was it.
Yep.
And then he does his his move set. Again, I'm not shitting on Damian Priest. I actually like Damian Priest. I think his world title run could have been better. I don't think that not necessarily that they weren't fully behind him, but I don't think he had the chance to like really shine.
I agree.
Because I think he could. I think he could have done better.
He's a great wrestler, but
Yeah, I think he's very entertaining. He's a big guy. He seems like a chill dude. You know, apparently he throws amazing parties.
amazing.
Yeah, apparently he throws like really great parties. I forgot where I saw that. I think it was on like a YouTube video or someone's podcast
Oh,
where,
really?
where they were talking about Damian Priest. Like, yeah, his parties are like
that's
crazy.
so funny.
But anyway, yeah, he kind of just comes out to a reaction, and I was just like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to see that, especially from a former world champion. You know, again, granted, whether they were behind him or not, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucked. Anyway, he does his thing, and then Logan enters, and he just gets booed.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Oh yeah.
Because
That's just a that's
yeah,
just a
'cause
thing.
no matter
Yeah,
where
that's-
you are in the
where
world,
yeah.
everyone's
he's
booing
getting
Logan
booed,
Paul.
yeah.
Yep.
Nobody likes Logan Paul.
Yeah.
We don't like Logan Paul. Here's the thing: we don't like Logan Paul, the person.
The person.
Logan Paul, the wrestler,
Yeah.
very talented.
Very talented.
You know,
Makes a great character.
yeah. As long as he has time to prepare,
Yeah.
he's a very good wrestler.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Like,
I remember John. You were talking about it. I think on the podcast we didn't upload, or maybe it was the one before that. You were talking about how you were watching Raw and you watched him versus Ray, and you were like, "Yeah, it was a good match." And I was like, "Yeah, but did you see where it fell apart for a little bit because they didn't hit their spot?"
Okay. I didn't remember that, right? And I was like, because I was watching it while I was doing something. I don't remember what I was doing, but I went back and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna rewatch that part because I didn't really get. And then I was like, oh yeah, they had to redo it, and they did it exactly the same.
Well, here's the thing: they did it where
They each messed up.
they each because
Yeah.
I think there was a communication error.
Yeah.
I think Logan was supposed to do something, and Ray ducked. So then they redo the spot, but then they do the reverse of what was
And
supposed to
then-
happen.
yeah.
And then they still mess it up.
Yeah.
So then they go into the corner, clearly talking about, hey, this is what's supposed to be happening. And then they finally do it right. And then after that, the match is really, really good.
Backflip off thing.
Yeah.
It was good. Good moves, yeah.
Yeah.
So he comes in and it was just like, he got booed and starts doing the same, like it's move sets, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're all
li-
just
like-
wrestling.
Yeah,
and-
literally the next note I have after Logan gets booed, I was like, everything is fine. Like, it's fine, but it's nothing exciting.
Nothing-
It's people hitting moves.
Yeah. Nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened until he was gonna go up to the top rope to do the frog splash or the
Yeah.
the splash, whatever. And then he kind of looks at Punk and then climbs to the top of the thing. And I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
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 Well, before all that happens, the
the
main guy-
Yeah.
I say the main guy.
Yeah.
Well, he is the main guy. Cena finally enters.
Yeah.
And to cheers, everybody loves
Of
John Cena.
course.
That's the thing. He comes in, he hits his his moves,
The spot.
and his typical John Cena spots. And then at some point, I think he hit Drew hits a Claymore on John Cena. And while he's trying to go for the pin on Cena, because I think he wanted to be the guy to eliminate Cena.
Yeah.
Damian Priest goes in for the roll up and eliminates Drew.
Yeah. Drew. Yeah.
And Drew doesn't like that. Drew kind of has a hissy fit. He can't believe he's the first one eliminated. Granted, this is before Punk even enters.
Yeah.
So he gets real angry, and then he hits a Claymore on Priest.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get to the spot you were talking about, where Logan climbs onto the top rope, and then on top of Punk's pod,
Yeah.
hits the frog splash, and then Damian gets eliminated.
Yeah.
Again, these are like,
Yeah.
like, it's funny because like, apparently the plan was for Drew versus Damian Priest at WrestleMania,
Oh.
but apparently Drew had a problem with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, rumors,
Oh.
rumor mill, or maybe I've been corroborated. I don't know. That he feels the year that he had previously, he should have a bigger match at Mania, other than against Damian Priest, who's kind of
Oh.
fallen off. Which
Yeah.
you can make the argument, yeah,
Yeah.
he had, everything leading up to WrestleMania last year. He had a really great feud against Punk for a few months.
Yeah. Yeah, but this year, what has been his main like kind of?
Well, I mean, it's only been like 2 months, so you can't really
Oh, that's
judge.
true.
You can't really
Never
judge him on this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can only
so-
judge him on the
so-
previous year.
It's
And-
still in the beginning.
yeah, you can only judge him on the previous year, and yeah, the previous year he had a great year. You know, it's hard to argue with. I mean, if he thinks he deserves a better spot, I don't know, maybe he does. Like again, I'm not one making decisions. For all I know, this is a bunch of BS,
Yeah.
and who cares? So anyway, Punk finally enters, and immediately goes for Logan Paul, who's like waiting outside his pod, and just starts beating him up.
Yep.
And everybody cheers.
Yeah.
Again, nobody likes Logan Paul. And then after he's done beating him up, Cena stares at Punk. Punk stares at Cena, and Cena. I didn't see this until after the fact. Cena goes, "I missed you," and then Punk, when he enters, he's like, "Hey, I missed you too." And they go into the ring, and they, I think they go to like shake hands or something.
Yeah.
Before I think Rollins comes in and like messes it up. But I was like, man, this feels like 2011. I was like, I'm feeling all sorts of ways right now. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd ever see Punk in the WWE ever again. It's cool that he's back. But yeah, I was like, man, this feels like 2011.
Yeah.
Like prime, like both of them in their prime, having this stare off. It felt good. I liked it.
Yeah.
So anyway, stuff happens, and then eventually Punk gets a GTS on Paul for the elimination. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. You know, again, nobody really likes Logan Paul.
Yeah. Yeah. People cheered when it happened. It was, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and then after that, it's then Rollins versus Punk versus Cena.
Yeah.
And Rollins has this thing where he's like, hey, you're not eliminating Punk. This is between me and him. You know, go back to shooting movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he goes and attacks Punk, and while he's attacking Punk, Cena comes in. He's like, hey, you don't mess with me like
He was
that.
standing in between them, right? Hitting
Yeah.
both of them back and forth and
Yeah.
back and forth.
And then they do this really cool tag spot, which I think it was a tribute to, I want to say it was the Hart Foundation. They do like
Was it the Heart? Maybe.
it was some Canadian.
It was the pickup with the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
the
it was the Hart.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's the Hearts. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But they do like this like a double team spot on Rollins, and I just wrote down Cena putting double team spot is what dreams are made of. I was like, this is what I want.
Yeah, because when he picked him up, I was like, "What is he going to do?" And then he started running. I was like, "Oh, okay, he's going to clothesline him off the top."
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, after that spot happens, that's when they go for the handshake.
Yeah.
Cena goes out for the handshake, and then Punk goes in for the hug.
Yeah.
And I was like, 11
They hug and yeah.
Yeah, I was like, 11-year-old me is crying because I was like, oh, this is great.
And then they
then they start beating up each other.
wailing on
Yeah.
each other. Yeah, it was good.
I was like, yeah.
At that point, I forgot that Rollins was still in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and until he comes, I was like, "Oh crap, he didn't get eliminated."
Yeah. So anyway, they do they do the punching spot. They kind of do their like finishers and all that, and John Cena hits the AA for a 2 count. Then Rollins comes back in. He hits a buckle bomb. I say buckle bomb. There was no turnbuckle for him to buckle. But he does that spot onto the outside, onto the cage. And then he throws Cena into the pod, and he just kind of lays there for a little bit,
Yeah.
waiting.
Oh,
for
that's right. It's when the glass broke, right?
Yeah,
he threw him through it.
Yeah. So then him and Punk have their little beef. Hits a pedigree on Punk. Kicks out at 2. Punk just doesn't want to quit. He kicks out at pretty much everything that Rollins has to do, and it's clearly annoying Rollins because Rollins' whole thing is like he doesn't want Punk to main event WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He's hated Punk ever since he's come back. Never liked him pretty much since he left.
Yeah.
Again, that's probably the avenue they're going for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
You'd be good with Punk and Rollins at WrestleMania? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be the main event.
Yeah. No. I don't think. Yeah. It might just be a match, but yeah. That'd be cool.
But there's also that again. Roman wasn't on this pay-per-view.
Oh, that's true.
And he CM Punk still has that favor from Paul Heyman. Again, they have 6 weeks to tell stories, and maybe they'll bring it up then. Maybe they won't bring that up until like SummerSlam. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Punk won't quit, and then Cena finally comes back in. They start beating up on Rollins, and then I think Cena tries to go for AA. Rollins counters it. Something happens, and then Punk picks him up, hits him with a GTS. In doing so, Rollins turns around, gets picked up by John Cena, hits the AA for the elimination. And I was like, that's cool. That's a nice little spot. I figured what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I was like, you're not going to have both of those guys in the ring and not do that. I just felt like it was a thing you would do. So Punk and Cena are the final 2. And I think there was this really great line that the commentary team had I didn't write it down word for word, but it was Punk versus Cena, the Battle of the Destinies. Because Punk's whole thing is, I want to main event WrestleMania. He has to win this match to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because whoever wins this match faces Cody. John Cena also has to win this match because he needs that 17th world title.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the Battle of the Destinies. I was like, that's such a good like little line just to throw in there.
Yeah.
Because it like adds a little bit of stakes. Granted, the match didn't last long after
Yeah.
No.
after that because they kind of do this like go back and forth thing, and then somehow Punk ends up on the floor.
Rollins.
Yeah, Rollins hits him with the curb stomp.
Curb stomp, yeah.
And then desperate Cena sees that happens, pulls Punk back into the ring, hits him with the STF. Punk's unconscious. They wave off. He's lost by submission, and John Cena wins the men's 2025 Royal Rumble Elimination Chamber match. I figured that was going to be the case
Yeah.
because you're not gonna
I figured they were going with
you're not
Cena
gonna
just
not
to-
have John Cena on his last WrestleMania.
Yep.
So Rollins screws Punk, so that's probably going to continue their feud, which is cool. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I was like, it started off slow,
But it picked up.
but it definitely picked up after the first elimination. It wasn't bad. It didn't blow me away. I gave it 4 stars.
I gave it 4.
Yeah. Again, I didn't think it was better than the women's. I just didn't.
Yeah. I'll give it a little bit less than the women's, like 3 3/4.
I just give it a little bit higher than the women's, like I said, because I didn't finish the women's, so I want to be fair. Like, I can't judge that. So
Right,
I
right.
give
Yeah,
it a
you
4.
can't fully
Yeah.
critique it.
Give it a 4. It was fun.
Yeah.
It, had some okay stuff. Had some
yeah.
good wrestling moves. Built a little bit of story.
Yeah.
So that was that was fun.
So anyway, then we get
Yeah.
to,
Anyways.
if you want to consider it the main event, it's the last thing that was on the broadcast. So John Cena wins. He's celebrating
We all
in the
knew-
ring.
we all knew,
They move the chamber back up into the sky.
Yeah.
And then Cody Rhodes comes out to congratulate John Cena on like, hey, it's going to be you and me at Mania. What a time. That's cool. And then once they do that, The Rock's music hits. And then they play a Travis Scott thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Travis Scott comes out, and then The Rock also comes out because I think they continue to hit his music. And I still think this, even though like I'm like, oh, whatever. This is supposed to be like a moment, I feel like, between. I get why Cena's there. We'll get to that. But Travis Scott just feels so off.
I didn't understand why he was in the ring. It was really
Yeah, that was my problem with it. I was like, it feels odd for him to be in this situation.
while things were going on. We'll get to it, but while things were going on, it was just he was like awkwardly by the side. Then he like moved quickly to the other side because didn't want to be in the way, right? And it was just like this is just it makes no sense. He's not gonna wrestle. Like I mean, I
I don't know, man. Bad Buddy wrestles.
don't.
You give him 6 weeks until Mania. Yeah, he could do it.
We'll see.
I doubt it, but
Bad Bunny and Travis Scott WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, here's the.
Let's not will that into
Well, here's the
existence.
thing. Before we actually get into the actual segment, well, this is something we actually forgot for the podcast that we did record but didn't upload. We actually forgot to talk about the Rock segment because both me and John and everybody else.
Yeah.
This is the SmackDown before the most recent SmackDown.
Yeah, two
SmackDowns ago.
Yeah,
The SmackDown before Elimination Chamber.
I was bothered.
Yeah. So
was everybody else.
Yeah, we're not in the minority. It feels like everybody was like, "What's The Rock doing?" Because
What's The Rock doing?
well, because he comes back, and he announces like the day before the SmackDown airs. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at SmackDown," and they make a big deal about it. They cut matches for him specifically, and then he comes out and he cuts his promo, and it's so long-winded and it goes on forever. And he's like, "I want your soul." I sound like an Undertaker right there. He's like, "I want your soul, Cody Rhodes."
Yeah,
Like
but
him-
it was like paused in between his talking more than usual.
Yeah.
Did you watch it or did you see that or not really?
I heard about it.
It was very off-putting and very awkward. Like, man, you can cut a promo. I mean, I've heard Rock cut great promos before, but it was just you're trying to be too serious and it's not working. It would to me. It was like I can just imagine this if Dwayne Johnson whatever tried to go into a serious movie.
Yeah.
Like some kind of and it would some kind of drama and it wouldn't work, right? So I don't know.
But yeah. So he cuts this like promo. He's like, "I want your soul. I want you to be my champion. I want you to be a corporate champion."
Yeah. But then he touches his face.
Yeah, he does. He like caresses his
and he
face.
caresses his cheek. Like it was just was just so off-putting, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if that's a good word for it.
Maybe
But
that was the point.
yeah, but I mean, like, God, come on.
Yeah, it
made no sense. I'm trying. Look, I'm trying to get back into wrestling, and I've seen a couple more SmackDowns, some more Raws. This is why I probably haven't been as vocal tonight. I'm more listening to Ruben because he has a lot more knowledge, and I'm still learning everybody's names, and I'll get there eventually. But stuff like that was just so like, man, like.
Yeah.
I'm coming into. I don't know. Did something else happen between them last year that I don't know what happened? Like I don't know what's.
Well, I'm gonna
going
be
on.
real honest, John. This past week wasn't any better. So
No.
he wasn't there.
I saw a little bit, but
Yeah. So they Cody Rhodes goes out and it's his final speaking before the Elimination Chamber.
yeah.
So they have Michael Cole interview him, and they're basically like, "Hey, if you take this thing, you're basically selling your soul to the devil."
Yeah.
Kind of like reiterating like all the points that everybody else has been saying throughout the night. But then they play this. Michael Cole's like, "Hey, we have this video from The Rock, the final boss, and we're gonna play it for you right now." And they play this video that was like recorded on like a phone or something. Maybe it was a camera, but they recorded this video in front of his private jet that is revving its engines. So all you can really hear is you can hear The Rock, but there's like the annoying engines just revving the entire time, and it's so distracting. Like the entire time, I was like
I
"Man."
didn't watch it because I was like, this is just weird.
Wait, because it was basically him just reiterating the same points. Like, hey, I want you to be my corporate champion. Think about your daddy. I thought about your daddy all the time. He's my hero, and a bunch of like stuff, because they always like to reiterate, hey, you're Dusty Rhodes' kid.
Yeah.
Because Dusty Rhodes is one of the greatest of all time.
Dustin, right?
Dusty.
Yeah.
Well, there's Dustin Rhodes is his son,
Yeah.
or Dusty's son, Dustin,
Yes.
and Cody.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, they kind of reiterate the same thing. He got Cody a truck with
Oh yeah.
the decals that they probably put on that day.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I would never drive around in that. Like, I don't think Cody's ever going to want to drive around in that. But I guess it's the thought that counts, maybe.
And take all the decals off.
Yeah. Because that was the thing that was kind of like running through the entire night. They're like, hey, the final boss got you your own private dressing room. He got you all this amazing food that's in your private dressing room. You should look at all the things that the final boss can give you.
Yeah.
Just
Temptation.
join the final boss. So then when we get to the Elimination Chamber, he's reiterating those points. He's like, hey, I can give you everything and more. All I need is your soul. If you give me your soul, I'll give you everything. But if you don't give me your soul, the dream ends again. And what I liked about that was like the dream ends again. I took that as like, oh, Dusty's dead.
Yeah.
So the dream has ended.
Yeah.
The American Dream, Dusty
American
Rhodes.
Dream. Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of cool. It's a nice little line. So then Cody's like, he's like, something along the lines of like, yeah, my soul's not mine anymore. I gave up my soul when I stepped in the ring and I gave it to these people. And then everybody cheers because it's like, oh yeah, babyface, he's doing the babyface thing, and John Cena's like kind of like cheering him on and like
trying to like hype him up,
kind of like hype him up, and then the final thing that Cody says, he says, Rock, go F yourself.
Yeah.
And they didn't bleep it.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa,
Oh.
that's crazy.
Whoa.
They would have bleeped that any other pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But I think them not bleeping it makes it go a little harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had bleeped it, it would have, I think, lost a little bit. But the fact that they didn't bleep it makes it more raw, makes it feel
really
more,
sold it.
yeah, it sells it. It makes it feel more powerful.
Yeah.
Like he's standing up to like one of the head honchos in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that happens, he kind of like stands in the ring, kind of like not awkwardly, but like he's like the final boss, the Rock. He's kind of like standing there, and then he looks at Cena, basically being like, "Hey, it's gonna be you and me at WrestleMania." Then he goes in for the handshake
Yeah.
and for the hug, and John Cena's smiling, and then he looks up at the Rock and starts frowning, and then the Rock does like a slit his throat.
After the hug, when they're hugging, right?
While they're hugging.
So
While
only
they're
he could
hugging.
see the Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I my jaw dropped. Because Cena kicks Cody in the dick
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and just starts beating him up.
Oh yeah.
Beats him up with the Rolex, beats him up with his championship belt,
With a mic.
with the mic, and he's just laying it into him. And you can hear the thuds too. Like it wasn't until I was watching somebody else's review. They're like, yeah, you can hear the thuds
Yeah.
from when he gets hit with a championship belt. I was like, really? So when I was doing my second watch through, I was like, oh dang, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
he's
you can hear
he's
that.
laying him in,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and yeah, John Cena's heel,
Yeah.
and
But it was very. Well, it was surprising. Nobody, we didn't know
Came
what was
out
going
of
to happen.
nowhere.
But it was a little awkward. John Cena's face, like the frowning, was very.
yeah, I
don't
think
know.
he kind of oversold that.
Yeah, he tried to oversell it because he's never been heel, right? He's never gotten that. Like,
Yeah, but he's also an actor. You think you would know that?
that's what I'm saying. You think he would know hey, how to sell it a little bit,
Yeah.
But it just looked like he was like the first time.
I also
being
think
a-
he does it too early. Like
Yes,
it's
yeah,
immediately after he hugs him, he kind of like looks up and then does the frown. I think he should have waited a little bit
He
longer.
should have
Sold it.
waited till Rock did his move and then did a frown. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know.
or like the Rock looks at him for a little bit while
Yeah.
Cena's like smiling, and then you do like the slow
The change,
frown.
right? Yeah,
Like
yeah.
one of the I don't know if it's like the best heel turn I've ever seen, but like it's the one that I always remember. It's when after Randy Orton wins his first world title, and he's there with Evolution, and they have him on his on Batista's shoulders, and Hunter's like giving him the thumbs up, and then he slowly turns it thumbs down,
Yeah,
and then he tells Batista to drop him, and then they start beating him up,
yeah.
and it's that slow turn that I
Yeah.
think really does it. Again, I think this heel turn
No, it's great.
is great.
No, it's great.
He's like, at the end of it, this is a 5-star heel turn.
Yeah,
Like, but yeah, I think if he had, it was a little slower.
yeah.
It might have hit a little harder. Not saying it doesn't hit hard, but yeah, just that little, maybe a smidge slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
But-
really sell it.
But yeah, that's the big thing. John Cena's now a heel in his final year. I never thought I'd see the
He
day.
needs to a corporation.
Yeah, but like it also
Yeah.
Yeah.
it also weirdly makes sense though. Like a lot of John Cena's like more recent works that he's done over the last couple of years, he keeps reiterating this fact: I've never won a singles match in like 2,000 something days. I think to this point he still I still think he hasn't won a singles match. He's won like multi-man matches, and he won the Elimination Chamber, but he's never won a one-on-one match. So when you're in this circumstance of I need to win the championship, my 17th world title to be the most winning,
It's going to be a singles match.
yeah, it's probably gonna be a
yeah,
singles
yeah.
match. So he wants to do everything in his power to make that happen. So what do you
That's
do?
He's doing. He's going.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You align with the guy who's gonna give you the best chance of doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm all for this.
But the whole I don't know. It still puts me it's still so weird that it's just like I want your soul. It's just like you can turn heel without doing that whole kind of.
Well, he's the devil.
Yeah, I know what they're going just showing the so evil, so bad side. But it was great, anyways. No, this is just me nitpicking.
Everybody from that cut. Hopefully it was good. I didn't do it. So yeah, what was I talking about?
Yeah,
the heel turn.
thing. Yeah, heel turn.
Yeah, it's I'm all for this because this is one of those things that everybody's been wanting forever. John Cena did an interview with Chris Van Vliet talking about how it was supposed to originally happen back in 2012 when The Rock came back to do Once in a Lifetime. Once in a Lifetime happened twice, twice in a lifetime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting, I think, because I honestly I don't think he's going to be heel the entire time. I doubt he's going to be heel the entire year. I really do think he's going to do this only to get the title.
Yeah.
And then once he gets the title, he'll probably be a heel for a little bit. But I think
he'll turn back to.
I think he'll finish off as a babyface. I think something will switch in his mind, being like, "Hey,
Oh,
maybe I didn't have to do all of this."
maybe he'll fight to get his soul back.
Yeah,
Ah,
That could be good.
that would be hilarious.
That'd be great.
I mean, not saying I ever want to see this, but it would be hilarious to him to be end as him turning, babyface,
Yeah.
and for his last match or whatever, fighting The Rock and beating The Rock. I know Rock's not going to wrestle. But I'm
Oh
just saying,
boy.
Yeah.
Or maybe his champion.
or his chant. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. But well, what would be the last event for this year?
I have
For him?
no idea. I really don't. I don't know what the final pay per view of the year because
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's going to be on the last paper because I think he only has like 30 matches left or 30 appearances left that he says he was going to do.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh.
he
Well,
might
one
be on.
of them is WrestleMania.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but there's also shows
Yeah, he'll probably be on like some SmackDowns or Raws or whatever.
Yeah.
He'll probably do some pay per views. I doubt he's going to be on every pay per view.
Because the last pay-per-view of the year is what? Some Survivor Series?
I think it was this past year's, but sometimes they'll do one in December. Sometimes they don't.
Okay.
But I think this past year's it was Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know because is like what you said. We've never seen it.
Yeah.
Like the thing I can compare this to, in terms of like how this will impact the business, is when Hulk Hogan turned, it formed the NWO.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like a big thing happening that nobody thought would ever happen. Because Hulk Hogan was like as babyface as you can get. Like he was the guy. You know, Hulkamania, was running wild.
Yeah.
Everybody liked Hulk Hogan.
Granted, it wasn't a different promotion at the time.
Yeah, it was in WCW.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think that's more so because Vince didn't want to turn him heel.
Yeah.
But I even think that Hulk Hogan said he didn't want to turn heel, but then eventually, he just did.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: it ended up working out.
Yeah.
The NWO still popular to this day. Like those T-shirts still sell. Like,
Yeah.
I still want an NWO.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what this entails because like we've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can't sit here and be like, oh, this is where I think this is going to go. I think here's the thing. I do think with like 70-ish% chance he's beating Cody. I really do. Because I think here's the thing. Cody has to lose it eventually. I don't think they're going to give him the Roman treatment if he's going to have it for like 4+ years or whatever. I wouldn't want that.
How long has he had it?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Because he won it at WrestleMania. I think by the time his match happens at WrestleMania, it'll be over a year.
Well, I mean, if they don't if John Cena doesn't win, all this would have been for nothing. I mean, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
you put him over for Elimination Chamber just to get him to WrestleMania, and then for him to lose his 17th, and if he wins it and then he loses it the next pay-per-view or the next, great, whatever, at least he won it in WrestleMania. He's done, his legacy's fulfilled, and that's it. Or Cody can win it back, I don't know, SummerSlam or somebody else can win
that's
it
the
or
whole thing,
whatever.
right? It's like The Rock's offering him so much, right? All he has to do is win it. He can defend it whenever he wants.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll win it at WrestleMania, and then he probably won't defend it until SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If he chooses. Again, I don't know his schedule.
Or win it and then turn against The Rock, like, haha, I used you, to get what I want. And
I don't.
we don't know. Yeah.
We don't know.
This is uncharted
And
waters.
here's the thing. That's great.
That's cool. Yeah,
It's cool that I
because
don't
it keeps
know.
you wanting, keeps you, ready to see what's going to come next. I mean,
But according to The Rock, I think he went on a plane to go film another movie, so he's not going to be at Raw. Clearly,
yeah.
We'll know by the time this comes out if he was at Raw or not. Probably not.
Yep.
I doubt he'll be at SmackDown. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It's crazy.
Yeah.
WrestleMania season finally feels like it started.
Yeah.
It finally feels like we're going somewhere, and that things are actually happening. Because, like I said, right after the Royal Rumble, it was kind of like, whatever. They had Jay win the Royal Rumble. People were indifferent on that. I do think that they had a promo segment with Gunther and Jay. Just to, again, getting off topic real quick. Just
fine.
because I haven't mentioned
We're already done with it.
just because I haven't mentioned it. They literally had a promo segment. I think it was when Jay finally was picking Gunther.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now I'm excited for this match.
Yeah.
Regardless if you think Jay is good or not, this promo, I felt something.
Yeah.
No, man, I've been watching clips and I've been watching people's reactions and crowd stuff, and it's just like he gets really, really good. Really good, he's really popular, really good crowd reactions. And it seems like I was going back after we talked about it last time, right? Like, hey, is this who should be fighting Gunther, right? Is he worth fighting him? Or that's the story they're putting through or whatever. And going back and watching older stuff, and it's just like, just to see his growth and his popularity grow. And now the people, the whole Yeet and his songs and, everything is just like, dang, he gets over really, really well. So who knows? Maybe they'll have him set up to win. At WrestleMania.
I 100% think he's winning.
Yeah.
I
would hope so.
I don't think you're not gonna put the title on him,
And yeah.
because he's too popular.
Yeah.
He's too popular.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's
to
like
not do
really,
it.
really popular.
Yeah, I 100% think Jay's winning. Yeah. Again, you can however you feel about Jay. That's that's your MO.
Yeah.
Am I gonna sit here and tell you I think Jay is the best wrestler of all time? No.
No. Yeah.
But I think he does what he should be doing, and it's getting the crowd to get invested in what he's doing.
yes.
And you can't say that they're not.
Yeah.
You
You don't have to have the flashiest moves.
Yeah,
you don't have to have. I mean,
he comes in through the crowd.
yeah. Yeah.
Everyone pops for that. Everyone does the yeets and all that.
Yeah,
The
I love it
crowd.
when they announce when the music. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
when the I like it when the music starts and you get the crowd's reaction of like
yeah.
like,
with the
it's gonna
tunnel.
come out by me, by you, but yeah. So it's that engagement, right? I mean, it's, yeah.
And I think a lot of people were sour on it originally because he he wasn't the guy that because the whole thing was like him and Cena were the final two, and people thought Cena were going to win. But
Yeah.
even after I said Jay won, I was like, well, he's going to win. Cena's going to win the Elimination Chamber, and obviously
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a 180 on the whole Jay thing because again I wasn't like the most enthusiastic about it, but I understand why they did it. And like I said, one promo I said that one thing can do it to change you, and one promo did it to change me. And now I'm fully behind this whole Jay thing.
Yeah.
And again, I hope he wins. He's probably going to win.
Yeah.
And that's all it really takes.
I hope he does.
One
Yeah.
thing can make you really hyped for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can switch your perspective
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
And just and just vice versa. One thing can make you feel really crappy about something.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that yet. But we'll just have to wait and see. Again, I
Yep, I mean,
am
it could
super
happen.
excited for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I couldn't say that 2 weeks ago. When I say that, I mean I wasn't excited. Obviously, I'm excited for WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. It's the be all end all. It's the grandest stage of them all. All the buzzwords that they'll use. To hype it up, right?
Yeah.
Marketing and all that. But it is WrestleMania. It's a big deal. They put a lot of effort into it. But yeah,
And it's funny, like we were talking about the whole Jay and Gunther thing, but like I didn't going back and watching stuff, like learning about why is this person here, who has this, what what are they doing here, seeing just by popularity, what's on social media, what gets posted and stuff, and Gunther's not like it's hard to see or come across things just naturally looking where he's like in the video or he's doing something, or it's always like they're always pushing all the other the Punks and the Seth Rollins and the Roman Reigns and the now Jay and Cena and whoever else, but it was just like it's just weird that how long has he had the belt? For a while now, right?
I think he won it at SummerSlam, so that was like August.
Okay, so
About
7 months, 8 months, or
No,
9,
no, it's
7, 8 months. Sorry,
No, it's less than that. August, September, October, November, December, January.
I said 7.
You said 7.
7. Yeah, he was.
I just took.
I
a
did
guess,
math
but
on
Yeah,
it.
whatever. Yeah.
But I also feel like they lean into that because like his whole thing is like I don't care what they think. I know I'm the best.
Yeah.
Nobody because that was his whole thing of like Jay, you're not worth my time.
Yeah.
I've already beaten you. You aren't. If you pick me, I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to put you in the ground. I'm going to.
Which is why if he beats him, it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. What? The minute the 3 count hits,
Yeah. It's
that arena is
yeah.
exploding.
Yep.
The sad thing is, I don't think it's gonna be the main event. I wouldn't make it the main event. That's just me. I think there's too many moving things now.
Yeah.
To where, who knows what's gonna be the main event?
Yeah.
Because right now there's Cody Cena's main eventing one of the days.
Yeah. It's going to be
Probably
one
night
of
2.
these. Yeah.
So do you
That's
put that?
probably going to end. That's probably going to end the WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Cena. And
So yeah,
Cena and Cody.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And again, I'm excited that I don't know. It makes me want to tune in
Yeah.
and watch it.
Yeah.
Makes me want to be more involved and get into it. Yeah. I guess if we're gonna leave it off with anything, wrestling's cool.
Yeah.
Wrestling's
Wrestling cool.
It's gotten me in watching more things. I'm watching the the LFG. What's it called? Legends on Future Greats.
Oh yeah, the LFG, the A&E thing that they're doing right now.
Yeah, with Undertaker, Booker T,
It's Undertaker, Booker T, Mickey James, and Bubba Ray.
Bubba Ray. Yeah, and they're getting to choose. It's people from NXT and people who have wrestled and been wrestled, or not NXT, but like people who are
Yeah, I think a lot of them are like college athletes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're in their like NIL program or whatever.
Ooh.
or they're at the wrestling center and they've been wrestling for like up to like 1 to 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And then there's also some people who have never wrestled, like who are just getting into it.
Okay.
And I guess whoever wins gets a shot at NXT to come into NXT.
Oh.
And so they're all getting a team of 2 male, 2 female.
Yeah.
They get to pick, and so they're watching them like cut promos, and it's a really good show. It's like, man, it's kind of
Yeah, it's kind of reminiscent of like Tough Enough.
yeah,
like
but
when they
different.
did
But
Tough
different, yeah.
And apparently it got renewed for season 2 already.
Yeah.
So it's doing
it
very
looks
well.
really. And
I
the
haven't seen
feedback
it.
and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I'm just watching it to see the wrestlers, like the older ones, feedback and stuff, and to help the younger people. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
looks good so far.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah,
Wrestling's cool.
yeah.
WrestleMania is probably gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
It'll
It'll be a double episode for that one.
Yeah, when we get to the WrestleMania, we're gonna have 2 episodes because we're gonna do night 1 as its own thing, night 2 as its own
So
thing.
it'll probably be like a Tuesday, Thursday upload, maybe.
Yeah, because because here's the thing, we're not watching it the days that they're coming out. We're just not. We just can't.
Yeah.
So we'll probably watch. Oh God, that's gonna suck too. Like, unless we just do an all-nighter where we watch both nights immediately back to back, and then we like record night one that day. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We have 6 weeks to think about it. And plan it.
It's plenty of time. We were just talking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I guess that's where we'll leave that, and we'll just move on to the thing that we always end off with.
Yeah.
So actually, before we get into the pack opening, that's what I was alluding to. We did a pack opening for the episode that didn't get released.
Yes.
And we each got a hit from it.
So right now we'll just pop them up.
Yeah,
here.
we'll pop
One,
we'll
two,
pop the
three.
hits with which one we each got in front of our respective
And
person.
we'll pop the code.
Yeah, we'll do all the code cards.
The code cards together. Yeah. I'll just.
But to reiterate, I am at 7, John is at 6, Vic is at 3. So we will be going off of the numbers that we hit the last time.
Yeah.
So John, if you will,
Yep.
if you want to get out the packs.
Today we had to go with a 10. Because there's no packs to be found anywhere.
Yeah, we're still in the Pokemon slump that I thought we'd maybe be out of by now, but
we're still in the TCG drought.
yeah, and it's just, I don't know. It's yeah. We've said our piece twice.
What is this? Xerneas EX? My eyes are bad.
Xerneas?
Yeah.
That's a
Xerneas.
Xerneas.
Xerneas?
Xerneas.
I said Xerneas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xerneas EX. That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you were all. It was all. I thought you were making it all one thing.
No.
Xerneas X.
No.
Xerneas X.
No, Xerneas EX. I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, that's good. Anyway, we have 5 packs. We'll only open 3.
Yeah.
And then we'll use 2 for the next time. John dropped a pack.
Always dropping stuff. So, do we want to roll for it?
Sure, why not?
Or just let Vic.
We'll
Vic pick first?
Yeah, I rolled 6, so I'm probably picking first.
No,
I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6.
All right,
Great.
3.
2.
5.
All right, so Vic's picking
Vic
first.
first. Yes.
What? This never
And
happens.
so we got Temporal Forces, Obsidian Flame, Surging Sparks, or Stellar Crown.
All right, give me a Surging Sparks. Give me that Latias. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go with Obsidian. I'm gonna go Stellar Crown.
Yeah, Vic's motioning to get the dice.
Yeah, I got you.
For the audio only listeners, once we have audio only. That's one of those things I've always wondered about. It's like we do a lot of things where we like point and we like show stuff. And I'm like, man, for the audio only listeners, like once we eventually get this to audio only, it's gonna be real weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, like we said, code cards will be somewhere in the
Code cards?
general vicinity. In fact, I was gonna throw it back. I decided not to. That's a bad idea. I got a grass energy. That's cool.
I'll put them
All right, Vic. Well, you got to show yours off first.
Cool. Fire.
Fire.
Okay.
Yoga Fire.
Pidove. Pineco.
That is a
Mawile. Metatite. Iron Treads. Boxed Order. Ribombi?
Yeah.
Cool. Duosion?
Yeah, Duosion.
Cool. Shift Tree. And Iron Valiant Future.
Wow. So Vic didn't get a hit.
Nope.
Can I pull through for even a bigger thing? All right.
I'll
Gotta,
see.
Gotta do this at an
Can you
angle.
go for 8? Or
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's over.
yeah, I know.
Anyway, I got to do this at an angle so I can
Yeah,
look at
you're
my
good.
cards. I got a Morlo, a Lowland Diglett, a Volcarona, Togepi, Grafaiai, Passimian, Colberberry, Spupa, a Fampi, and I got a holographic Palkia.
Of course.
So I didn't get anything either. So John can tie with me at least.
So
if he pulls something.
we got a Wooloo, Salandit, Dipplin, Panseer. You know, some of these sometimes I just can't pronounce these right. Tornadus, Koraidon,
Yeah.
Frogadier, Bouffalant, Duraludon, and a Hollow Bouffalant.
Another Buffalo. Okay, well, none of us hit anything, so I guess it didn't matter.
No hits.
Whoa.
Yay.
All right,
Still at
well,
the same scores.
yeah, we're still at the same scores.
I have a strong feeling that those other 2 packs have hits in them.
Well, we'll find out next week.
Find out next time.
Yeah, find out next time on the Slang on Topic podcast. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this episode. What a fun time the Elimination Chamber was.
Man.
It's good.
Overall, pretty solid show.
I had fun.
Yeah, I did.
It was good.
If I had to give the whole show a rating, I'd probably give it a 4. I think a 4 is safe, for
Yeah.
the whole show.
Give it
Yeah,
like a
4.
like a 4, maybe 3. If really critiquing 3 3/4, but 4 sounds
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah. Well, I guess the next time we touch wrestling, it will be for WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yep.
Unless we decide to do AEW, because AEW Revolution technically is next weekend. But I don't think we'll do a double wrestling thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll mention it just because I think AEW is cool. I don't know. We'll again, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
Yeah.
Anywho, thank you guys for watching. Like,
Yes.
comment, subscribe, all that jazz, all the stuff to help us get onto the algorithms of our choosing or whatever.
Really do appreciate it.
Yeah. Anyway, my name's been Ruben,
I'm big.
And I've been John.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace. Ooh.